What's up, weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here, and for once, Florida has decided not to rain all over us, but instead of raining, it's about 98 degrees outside, so I'm still soaking wet. So now that we have the XS650 chopper build pretty much off the lift, I mean, it's got to go back on for a bunch of other stuff, but right now, it's off the lift, and I'm going to take advantage of that to do some much needed maintenance on some of my other vehicles, specifically the FXR. You know, I've been riding the FXR around, and kind of the idea I had behind it is that I'm just going to ride the thing till the engine hand grenades. But unfortunately, the engine is not the only thing that keeps that bike on the road, so it does need a little bit of maintenance. Specifically, I'm pretty sure the rear brakes are totally toast. It definitely needs a service, so we're going to do a 3-hole change on it today and just kind of go over some other stuff and do a little bit of a safety inspection. As much as I love riding around death traps, the FXR really needs to be gone through to make sure I don't prematurely break another leg. So I've got my buddy Gulf Ghost coming over here, who is a Harley Tech, who is probably going to be absolutely disgusted by the sorry state of that 1986 FXR, but he's going to help me with the service, and he's going to go through that with me, and we're going to see exactly what this thing needs to stay roadworthy. And that's big quotation marks around roadworthy, because me and Gulf Ghost probably have a little bit of a different concept on what roadworthy actually means. So let's get into it. Like I was saying before, when you got someone who's going to come over and help you work on a POS bike after getting done working on probably a lot nicer bikes in a shop with all the tools you need to really get stuff done, that's pretty cool, man. So make sure you go subscribe to Gulf Ghost. He's got a channel. Anyway, go check out his Instagram, because I'm sure he'll be putting some of my embarrassing FXR moments up. On his Instagram. Although I gotta say, none of this stuff is my fault. I haven't maintained this bike. And when I say I haven't maintained this bike, that doesn't mean like I just haven't maintained it. It means I didn't get this bike that long ago. I rode it around for a little while, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass the buck and say that everything that's horrendously wrong with this motorcycle right now is not my fault. So today we're gonna do a service. It needs a 3-hole change. Is that what they call it? Yeah. A 3-hole change, and that there is primary oil that needs to be changed, there is engine oil that needs to be changed, and there is transmission oil that needs to be changed. All use different oils at different viscosities, so luckily I've got a little bit of I got a little kit that I got that comes with everything you need. And we've also got some other stuff for him to check out. Like I said, I lost rear brakes, and just looking at them, there's fluid all over the rear wheels. So I'm sure something is disastrously awry with this rear brake caliper back here. And some other stuff too. I was kind of just like smacking these spokes around, and a couple of them didn't make very good sounds. Let's take a look in here. How are we looking on rear brakes?
It might
as in,
if you actually have pads. There's no pads.
Oh, do you need pads on these things?
No. Brakes only slow you down. Let's go fast.
This thing has got like low compression on both cylinders and a slip-in clutch, man. It doesn't need anything slowing it down.
And a whopping 30 horsepower.
All right, so we'll get your opinion on this, but this is, and I ordered this without asking, the Amazon official Maxima 3-hole change kit for an Evolution engine. So let's go ahead and get Gulf Ghost's opinion on whether this actually comes with everything you need to do a full 3-hole service on your bike. This was $65, I believe. Let's take a peek at what we got in here. Oil filter. We'll assume it's the right one until proven otherwise.
And it's chrome.
Hell yeah! Primary. We have engine oil, 20W50. Engine oil, 20W50. Engine oil, 20W50. Transmission, 85-140. And another 20W50 engine oil. So
no, they said
4 containers of engine oil, 1 primary, 1 transmission oil, and an oil filter. This is what comes in the Maxima Evolution service $60 oil change, all 3 oil change kit. So is that all you need? I also got some O-rings.
That is. Did they come with the kit?
The O-rings did not come with the kit.
So it's not a complete kit.
It's not a complete kit. So now I better order some O-rings for the drain plugs because everybody seems to say that you need them. You don't need them?
Not those, no.
Oh, not those? These are the wrong ones?
No, you don't need those for Nevo.
Oh, shit.
I have it all. Okay. Just in case.
Oh, you brought it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Golf goes to the rescue, man. I'm already screwing up and he's saving my bacon.
You're missing the
man.
gaskets, and also, you got an extra quart of oil.
Oh, it only needs 3 quarts?
3 quarts of engine oil, not 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
4 goes in the touring bottle.
Oh, nice. What is that?
It's for your primary cover.
Oh, is this a gasket?
Yeah, it goes on the clutch cover.
Well, I had no idea I needed this.
And your primary drain plug is a one-time use.
Oh.
A brand new one.
I did not know that either. Damn, dude.
Yes.
You with all the tricks. I'm glad you're over here right now because I would have screwed this up.
Chrome oil filter on an Evo. This bike just went up $600 in value.
Which makes it worth only $100 because we were negative before this. When you do an official 3-hole change, what do you usually start with?
Well, first the motorcycle has to be hot.
Oh, okay. So we need to start her up.
Yes, sir.
Luckily, it still runs, although it doesn't stop very well right now. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start her up, let her run for, I believe the manual calls for 1 12-ounce beer's worth of time. Let's make sure this thing is in neutral because there is... there's no switch on this guy. Do we got a neutral light up there? Yeah, we got a neutral light. All right.
Can't always trust it.
Let's drink a beer. Yeah. Out on the outside of the garage because it's kind of loud in here. Now that we've had a beer and the engine is up to temperature, Gulf Ghost says primary first. That's the replacement. So which one is it?
It is right here.
So it's that one right there. It does. I mean, it looks like it could be just one of the ones that holds it in. But
It does,
ain't.
yeah. The only difference is the head. It's different.
Single-use bolt, man. I would have never known that. Good thing to know if you're changing your Evo oil for the first time. Or if you've changed it a bunch of times and reused that bolt and wonder why it's leaking. Choice cover right there. Live to ride, baby. And so you fill it. Oh, look at that. You know what, man? I would have fucking opened this thing up and been like, well, I didn't expect that. And this is a single use as well.
Yeah.
So if you reused this, would it leak? Probably. Maybe.
Yes.
Like, if you were in a pinch, you could get away with not doing it, but you should. You don't have to say that.
Yes.
I can't get him to say the wrong thing, man. That's the thing about technicians who do it for a living. They always do the right thing.
Ah, fuck it, I'll tell you. I use the same one on mine every time. I've used it like 7 times. I replace it like every 6 times.
Yeah. So as they say, the cobbler's son has no shoes. So the next step from here, we've drained the primary oil, we've removed the primary cover, which we fill it from there, I assume. And then next is we're going to remove the oil filter.
And while we're here, just so we can't... Wow. That primary chain tensioner shoe is not broken. I'm surprised.
Is that usually something that's broken?
No.
Never take a flashlight from a motorcycle or automotive technician without sanitizing it first, because that's where it usually works.
Yep.
All right, so we've removed the oil filter, we've drained the primary, now we're draining the transmission. Was there any oil in it?
Yeah, it's coming out.
Oh, okay.
The transmission oil looks like it was changed pretty recently because it is extremely clean.
Me and Gulf Coast's been drinking beers, so it's like drinking beers and having fun, but we got to make the video too. So we drained the transmission. Next up, we got to drain the oil bag.
What happens when you're a mechanic? You get really bored. Whoa! What's up, dude?
Oh shit! There's somebody living in there. Like any good motorcycle that lives outside. Oh god, there he goes. If you don't have a motorcycle that hasn't had at least a couple lizards on it when you started riding it around, you ain't from Florida. So we were dicking around with the drains underneath it and nothing was coming out, and my man Gulf Goes here made a call and figures out on FXRs. I didn't know this. He didn't know this because shit changes. There's a special drain line underneath the side cover here. That's some old school technology right there. Like it plugs into that.
Well, it's kind of like the Sportsters. They come out and they actually strap on the frame right here.
No shit. That's where the drain is.
It's a good take off of the FXR. It's just not behind a side cover. See the motorcycle?
This is pretty cool. My man Gulf Ghost here showing his kid motorcycles on FaceTime.
Look at this one.
What a good dude. So we have all the fluids drained, including the oil bag, which is a little hard to find. So primary is drained, oil bag is drained, transmission is drained. Let's fill her back up.
You always want to lube gasket surface so that it goes on smoothly. And you don't really have to, but from what I've learned, it's always a smart thing to put just a couple ounces into it so that it's not completely dry.
Yeah, when you're talking about a motor that's this old, it can use all the help it can get.
And pretty much when you put an oil filter on, a motorcycle is the same as a car. You want to put it on until it gets pretty snug, and then just kind of give it a quarter to a half turn, and then that's tight.
So don't forget to put your reusable seals back in. We've all been like draining all the oil out. Like, don't forget to put your plugs back in, or else you're in for a world of hurt.
You'll know really quick if you didn't. Don't ask me how I know.
So the oil goes in right just there, right?
No,
There's
actually,
no fill, is there?
So on the twin cams, the oil goes in here. Now, you can put it in here. It's normally what I do on Evos when people come in if they don't pay for the full thing. But because we're already here, you would normally put it in here, and we want to check the primary chain tensioner.
All right.
The primary chain. So we're going to
since we're already here, let's do that.
We're looking to see how tight it is on the primary chain. The primary chain should only move, there's a spec, don't quote me, it's around 5/8. What I've learned is it should move when it's hot the width of the chain. From when you push it to there to up, it should move. Which this one is actually dead perfect, and I'm really surprised.
So we're in spec. Oh my god, that's got to be like the only thing on this bike that's in spec.
Very in spec. I really expected this primary chain tensioner to be broken half, and it is not. They say 32 ounces.
Alright, but you can check, like basically just at the bottom of the
You're
box.
always going to have a little residual in there.
Yeah.
Obviously. So I personally will put in like 28 ounces and then check it. Some of them I've had take the full 32. Pretty much. You just kind of want it at the bottom of this. 30 to 34 is not going to hurt it. That's all pretty much well within.
Right. I assume you can't put too much in because you can't get it in over a certain level.
You can't get it in over this level. Well, actually over this.
Over
but
this.
On the twin cams, you can't get it in over this level. But if you have it up to this level where it's almost coming out, you'll know because your clutch most likely will slip.
Oh, so if you have too much oil in there, your clutch can slip.
Yes.
Okay.
Because a little more is never bad on these Evos.
Yeah. A little more is always... Yeah, they leak, dude. A little more is better than a little less.
Yeah.
You guys might not be able to tell in the video, but this whole thing is saturated in oil. It leaks from every orifice. But if you got an 80s Harley, you better fucking Loctite that shit.
You got an Evo, period. Doesn't matter what year. It needs to be Loctited. The bikes vibrate, things come loose, and that's why things leak. You always make sure you put the live to ride upwards and not sidewards.
Very important.
If you put live to ride sideways, it really makes other Harley riders mad. So right now we're going to put the tranny drain plug in. Transmission.
Yeah, you can't say tranny anymore, man. It's 2019.
Yeah. A 6-speed Harley transmission takes 32 ounces. This is a 5-speed Evo transmission. They do not take a full 32. It's 22 to 26 ounces, give or take.
Right.
Don't quote me.
Enough is what we're
somewhere
gonna say.
pretty much around there.
Yeah, it's going to take enough.
It doesn't take a full. If you put too much in, it'll shoot out of the overflow tube, which is no biggie. This thing leaks already, so a little more is better.
It does fucking leak, dude.
Dynas and Softails and Sportsters are normally 3 quarts of oil, dry. On these, because it's obviously not dry, you would want to start with 2 to 2 1/4 quarts. Some people do 2 1/2 just to make sure. Then, once you've had that done, you would run the bike, get it hot, ride it for 4 or 5 miles, and then when you come back, you check the dipstick, and if it's a little low, you would add a little extra. You never want to put in the 3 full quarts because there's always residual in the crankcase and in the heads. And if you happen to put too many out, Harley Davidsons are head breathers. It'll come through the breathers and it will shoot out of your air cleaner if you have too much.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Ask him how he knows.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I know. I've gone through many of these pants before.
All right, so him like muttering about the belt over here. We already know the belt's bad, so me and Gulf Ghost are going to basically go through the FXR and see what it needs in order to be roadworthy.
I'm going to make this real quick for y'all. He needs a new bike. No, we can fix it.
So front brakes, we need front brakes.
Front rotor, definitely. Just like the rear is also bad. Brake pads, not so bad, but being as old as they are, I would clean this caliper up, put new pads in it. When you replace a rotor, you have to replace the pads because the old pads are worn to the old rotor. The rear rotor I would definitely replace. The inside pad is still there, it feels smooth. This is not very smooth at all because the outside pad is completely gone. There's no pad. It's metal on metal. So I would replace this rotor and then this caliper, which I wouldn't replace, and we'll go through it and clean it out. If we can, put new seals in it. If not, we can make it work. Just it needs to be cleaned up and rebuilt. The exhaust, really make sure the exhaust gaskets are good, which I heard it running earlier. They're not leaking, but when we go to put that here,
right, when we got to put mids on it,
then we're gonna have to move the exhaust,
yeah.
And this is already broken, which means this exhaust now moves, which is gonna probably cause an exhaust leak up here. And it's a broken bracket. This is actually, this bracket right here that's broken is actually very extremely common on Harley Davidson.
Oh yeah?
I've actually replaced this clamp on my personal Harley Davidson 4 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's very common. I mean, we could really go deep.
We can do this. We can do this.
Yeah, we can do it. You know,
we can make this bike safe to ride. But here's the whole thing, man. We're trying to like make this bike safe enough to ride it till the engine fails. That's the goal.
I think the bike will fail before the engine does.
No, that's what we're doing. Like we got to make the bike work. The bike works until the engine fails.
These Evos are bulletproof.
Well, then we've got our work fucking cut out for us, don't we, dude?
Yep.
This is how many miles can you put on an Evo? All right, man. You guys stay tuned for this shit because this is what we're waiting to die. This big old V-twin heart right here. We're waiting to kill that. It's just everything else we got to make work in order to see how far we can push that. So stay tuned and fucking keep it weird, y'all, because things are about to get real strange.